Mina SALPOST within a new building for Kankoba a press conference with the Ministry of Information and Communication being called every Thursday. This is not the program talk to the camera, and we go inside the conference hall now, inside the conference will take place.
Postal services in the country. So permit me now to call Mr. Brima Katta, who is the Managing Director for SALPOST, to brief us about their achievements, challenges thus far for the past 1 year in the area of SALPOST. You're welcome, sir.
Mr. Permanent Secretary, members of the Fourth Estate, colleagues of the Ministry of Information and Communication, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to this press conference. As the moderator said earlier on, my name is Brima Katta, current Managing Director for Sierra Leone Postal Services, SALPOST Limited. I've been in the job for coming 8 months now, and since I took up office, it's not that I've been media shy, but I've been busy trying to understand what it really entails in the organization. Both things are actually happening internally and what's happening outside of the organization, and to try and make sense of it all and how to put a comprehensive strategy together with the support of the ministry, the NCP and other stakeholders, and moving the organization from where it is currently. So most of what I'm going to be talking about, the Permanent Secretary was able to throw some light on them. Sierra Leone Postal Services has ruled us for 170 plus years. It was established in the 1800s and it's still going. Yes, albeit there are some challenges, but let me start by making one fundamental thing clear here. So there's a fundamental difference between the post office and the other operators, the DHLs, the TNTs, the FedEx, etc. So the post office, under what the Permanent Secretary mentioned earlier, the UPU, which is the Universal Postal Union, has a mandate of making sure it's an obligation under the United Nations Charter of Human Rights that every human being, it's its right to have access to mail delivered, no matter where they are in the world, at affordable cost. Yeah, let's underline that, it's very critical. So with that universal mandate, it is incumbent on the government or nation states to make sure their national postal operators actually thrive. Otherwise, they will not be able to fulfill those mandates, mandates. For instance, there's no way DHL are going to come in here and deliver mail to my grandmother in Bamakoya at affordable price. They'll do that at a price, at profit. So the government really needs to come in and help facilitate that so the post can actually fulfill that mandate. Now, over the years, through, I don't know, you don't want to start by pointing fingers, but then we have a new administration here. Whatever has actually happened in the past, I am here now to say, okay, let's draw a line in the sand. Yeah, it's a new era, and let's try and forge ways forward to revive this institution, this wonderful institution, and make it. So I was saying, it's what we're here to do now. Really, is to try and find ways of bringing this back to the heart of government and to try and support government in some of its social responsibilities across the world. And why do you think it's the post office and not the DHL can do it? Because the post is the single biggest institution that has a footprint all over the country. Yeah, in all 4 regions, across the 14 districts, everywhere you go, there are postal operation. So today I'm trying to actually call out the challenges that we have currently. And after we've actually highlighted the challenges, then I guess to you, okay, you've telling now what the problem is, what are you going to do about it? And I'll talk to that in my presentation. What am I going to do about it? I will form my strategic plan over the next 5 to 6 years to try and see how we can address some of these challenges. And then the other part of my presentation will be, once we've actually spoken about challenges, and then we can talk about the outlook. You bring all these strategies, what's the intended purpose of it, and we can talk to that. And then I'm going to actually talk about who do I need to bring in for me to succeed in this journey. We'll talk about key stakeholders and their responsibilities. And then obviously we'll map out the process, how we'll go about it. And then the final part is the approach. How do you do? What are you going to do first, second, third, and fourth? And then after that, we'll open the floor for questions and answers. Because I'm sure I've never been in front of the media before eager to ask questions about the institution. So I'm quite happy to answer your questions out there. So I'll just go back to, sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit of the presentation. So on current challenges, as you can see there, it's fairly obvious with SALPOST, lack of adequate operational investment funds. So over the years, I have a document in front of me here, and luckily the permanent secretary was at that forum. This is our resolution signed 5 years ago at ministerial level, African Union. It's a resolution which was, the permanent secretary was saying earlier, ministers and heads of states actually agreed to bring back, make the post a part of the national development plan under the Millennium Goals Sustainable Development. So this resolution was signed by all member countries present. We signed it, only for me to come when I asked. I could not even, the Sierra Leone Postal Services was only even part of the national development plan. So in terms of implementation, there is nothing. But again, that's in the past. Luckily, the permanent secretary was there. He's got access to this information, this resolution. The minister has this resolution now. So it's for us to try and see how we can actually implement some of these. We talked about public confidence and perception. So when people hear of SALPOST today, the TIF, put so many things in the some of it is through over the years, but some of it is really lack of adequate the right technology. When you talk about track and trace, you talk about the transport infrastructure in our country, it hinders this delivery time and process. For instance, today we don't have any direct flight from here to Europe. I can give you a typical example. You put a letter in the post here to Liberia today, we'll have to go through Europe, Brussels, come back to Africa before it goes to Liberia. So this is where we need to partner with our organization, the Ministry of Transport and Communication. If we have a direct line within the African Union, at African level, regional level, they're talking about cross-border commerce and how we can actually facilitate our delivery service amongst nation states. It has its own challenges, and then we're discussing it at WAPCO, Pan-African Postal Union level, so that's all in the pipeline. Lack of skilled human resources to effect any potential changes. These are internal stuff I have to deal with. The average age of postal employee now is probably 40, 60. Some you can train, some you'll have challenges in training them. So, and I'll talk to that a little bit later. For post office to move from where we are and go today, we need to go digital. And if you go in digital, then some of the current staff actually have to be brought in line with that. So there are challenges there, but these are internal, they're not insurmountable. We can deal with those. Dilapidated and inefficient structure. 10 years of civil war left most of our structures in total ruin. But they're there, the physical structure may be actually dilapidated, But if we can actually inject some cash into those, we can refurbish those and bring them up to speed. Back onto transport infrastructure, I've already mentioned that. Lack of adequate technology. So the world is going digital, everything is going digital, and we're still stuck in analog. That is a recipe for self-elimination. So those are some of the challenges. The lack of cooperation between stakeholders within government and between SALPOST and commercial. This is really when I came back, park SALPOST for a moment. What I've really observed at even national level, the whole ecosystem is institutions are not talking to one another. People they're operating in silos. Where they need to collaborate, people are doing things on their own. And collaboration actually, what it actually does for you, it reduces probably investment cost, where you need to actually invest in technology. You can partner with some other agency or organization and share the cost. And then you get a lot of savings from that. And if we're not doing that, we're duplicating efforts. So it's really important to actually for us to engage what somebody else is actually doing. For instance, and I'll talk to that later, I came here, I was trying to actually bring up digital addressing, a national postal system, and I was wondering, what is the Freetown municipality doing about it? Because they actually need to make sure they distribute their property rates and all of that. I need that for courier services. Who is doing it? Through discussion with various, I realized they are working on the same project, DSCI are working on the same project, and I'm working on the same project. So in order for me to actually lay out a whole lot of costs to bring it on, I can liaise with those institutions and we'll bring it, the synergy there. And inadequate diversification of customer services. So that is really the basis of my strategy, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. The other thing that I think if I don't mention that, I'll probably get shocked when I go back to my office is staff welfare. Staff welfare, current staff, and retired staff.
And as we talk about the way forward during the conference, you make mention of $2.1 million grant from the waiting this morning.
So, like I said earlier, it's going to say to probably your colleague, the 2.1 million now we call the deficit of working capital. So the money down the way I want to invest in maybe from there they actually run the operations, cover the run rate over the 5. That money, don't forget, now over 5-6 year period. So not in year one. In year one, we will need a chunk of that, probably at least $750,000. So that one will be stuff. As they go up the years, don't forget you also generate revenue. That revenue will be cool for some of the authority costs.
And for this what we would try to talk about. So I want from other than stakeholders and where you will meet for push this work with.
So like I said, in my presentation, the Ministry of Information and Communication, NCP, we will need Ministry of Finance, we will need telcos, telecommunication operators, we will need SALCAB, NATCOM, especially for connectivity, all the postal areas, otherwise this whole thing will work. And then the one that we will want collaborate and partner with and help them with some of their services. So you're talking about immigration office, you're talking about road safety authority, you're talking about NACIT, you're talking about NRA, etc. All of it people already provide government services.
So how long this gets for take for making accomplish this?
Well, it depends really on the when. So my plan, I set up my plan in February 2015. If I don't say my plan is already 6 months behind, so it really depends on when we stakeholders all agree we approve this plan, then we'll put the right investment in it. The plan is actually set for up to 2025.
What think will be the expectations?
People, when you say the public?
The public.
So the public is, they tell you, say, within the period of this plan, let's say 2 or 3 years, you can, I want the people to be able to walk into any post office and get all of these services well online. It's actually there to be provided for them. So really not that. And let me go ahead and assure public say, yes, the issues on there in the past with credibility, bad press, but these are all things in the past. For instance, if we bring back the confidence and the right investment in the post office, DHLs, these are good guys. They come, but I will tell you, say, for an A4 size paper only, which is $100, post office cable send 3 EMS for half, more or less than half the price, for 35,000. So in the end, the public will therefore decide really once I don't bring efficiency, trust, and confidence with ability, what will they offer? It will speak for himself. It will actually come out. Obviously, the message gets go out, the public relations get go out, and people will see tangible evidence of developments or the strides that will actually take towards bringing a good name back into the institution. So I'm very, very confident with the right level of investments. It's happening in neighboring countries. So that investment. Yeah.
Okay, to end this interview, I want to know written the message we want to send out there to the public from like encouraging the people for me to get more trust on SALPOST.
Come back and support your local post office. And one that they were reliable, they're affordable, and forget the negative things we get people that still we're ready for local institutions, and we get plans of a move institution moving forward. So the message really that I give people post office ready in the next couple of months, and I will see tangible changes that will actually happen for maybe bring that confidence. We remain the reason why government need for really step in and support postal operation. You don't go to sell post office nowhere in the world. It never happened. In England they tried it, but because of this universal obligation, where the state say it's a universal postal union, when a subsidiary and an agency of United Nations on human rights, everybody in the world, and no matter how say you get rights for mail delivery at affordable cost. DHL and others are not going to be able to do that. And the cities are not going to do that. So which is why for me, for make a meet that universal obligation, then the government needs to actually subsidize. Otherwise it won't work.
Okay, thank you.